Hi, welcome to our podcast, Gen X and Z Go to the Movies.
I am Kerris, and I am a Generation Xer. I'm independent, highly educated with enormous debt, and sometimes critical.
And I'm Sydney. I'm part of Generation Z. We are the creative multitaskers with a short attention span.
Boy, that was pretty positive of you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm critical, and I'm in a lot of debt. You're like, I'm good at technology.
And I have no attention span.
You guys are like the overly positive generation too, aren't you?
Yep.
Well, each week we leave our heated lazy boy recliners and venture into the scary depths of society to bring you a review of the latest and possibly greatest new movies that are about or have already hit the big screen. So what did we see this week, Sid?
So this week we went and saw Judy, short for Judy Garland. It's kind of a documentary style, but
not what I was expecting.
No.
No. So what were you expecting walking into it?
I mean, most of my connection with Judy Garland is Wizard of Oz. That is, as it is my favorite movie personally.
Yep.
So I was kind of expecting to go into just her story of the filming The Wizard of Oz. I was kind of expecting to be positive because it's such a positive musical movie.
Yeah. I think the weird thing about you and I, so when we did some background data on her, we found that she was born in 1922 and died in 1969. And my good friends are going to kill me for saying this, but I was not alive before her death. So
me neither.
So it was, I think it was a shock to us because we didn't really understand her life. So it was really educational for me. I think I was a lot like you were. I expected, this like happy Wizard of Oz theme.
Right. I mean, I had no idea what her life was truly like and what she went through. And it really depicted all sides of her life.
Do you think they went a little bit more negative on it? Like, I didn't feel that there was a lot positive in it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It really delves into the dark side of Hollywood.
Yeah. That scared me to death.
No kidding.
So before we get too far into this, and we'll officially put our spoiler alert on, because we want you to be able to know within the first 5 minutes. Apparently our dog's going to eat during this too. Know within the first 5 minutes how we rated the film. All right, now we've come to the part where we're going to share our ratings with each other. We haven't told each other what we thought of the film yet, so...
Yeah.
Does Generation Z want to go first?
Sure. So, I gave it an 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You really thought well of that.
I did.
Okay. Well, let me share mine. So, I went 7. Does that surprise you?
No. It definitely wasn't a movie we expected it to be.
Yeah. I expected it to be like more positive. I think both of us thought more positive, but
yes, yeah. It's definitely a type of movie that I'm very intrigued with. I'm a fan of. Somewhat of a comparison would be maybe like Rocket Man.
Oh yeah, I loved Rocket Man.
Rocket Man was a great movie. It definitely featured a lot more of his music, Elton John's music.
Yep.
As well as maybe just a little bit more of a positive side of his life.
For me, Rocket Man was a 9, without a doubt. Like, I loved it.
I wouldn't disagree.
It was unbelievable.
Fantastic.
I think, I don't know, as a mom, ever since I became a mom, like, of a Generation Z, I think that stuff hits me harder. Like, because I see her as a daughter, and I'm thinking, I would never have put my daughter through that.
Yeah.
Ever. So, okay, so before you go and we spoil this movie for you, we want to give you another rating system, which...
it'll just kind of... We're deciding whether it's worth seeing in the theater, maybe renting it, watching it on Netflix when it comes out,
or just don't even bother.
Yeah.
We haven't really come up with what we're gonna name it. I think eventually we'll have stars or whatever. But what'd you think? Worth the theater?
For me, I would say so. Yes, okay. I'm kind of torn between renting it or seeing it in the theater. Mm-hmm. I think it's worth it personally. I mean, you could wait, but
yeah.
What do you think?
Why the theater? I definitely would say rent it. I don't know. I just didn't have that great of a feeling, as you did on it. Just because we're different,
I mean, for me, I just really wanted to see it really quick because, again, Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite movies, and anything to do with it, I'm definitely someone to jump right on board and go see it, and I think it was worth it.
Do you feel like it wrecked Wizard of Oz for you?
I wouldn't say wrecked. I'd say it definitely gave me a way different view of it.
Oh, yeah.
I can definitely still enjoy the movie for its own production quality and its time, but at the same time, there's a dark side to it now.
Yeah, definitely. Isn't there something where one of the guys died on set or committed suicide on set?
Yeah, I don't remember who
Everybody
talks
else is
about it.
Probably listening to the podcast right now, screaming at us.
Yes! Yeah. I believe there's actually video in one of the scenes in the actual movie that if you're looking very closely, you can see a man hanging in the movie.
Oh, gosh.
I actually believe Shane Dawson talked about it.
Really?
In one of his conspiracy videos.
We love Shane.
We do. We're a big fan.
Shane, you have made me an addict of you. Thanks a lot. Jeffree Star, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
So definitely some of the production to it was very, very dark. And it definitely, Judy opened my eyes to it a lot.
Yeah. I'm glad I saw it. I'm really glad that I saw it.
I think it's going to be hard for me to separate when I watch the movie because this is like my childhood favorite. I'd watch it all the time. Yeah. I've probably seen it about 200 times by now.
I think we gave you like a DVD player and like with the movie, and so
I remember every time I'd go visit my grandmother, we would go to the library to pick out some movies to watch, and I'd always pick Wizard of Oz.
We bought you a collection of those. Remember?
Yeah,
a long time ago? Yeah. A lot of them broke like when we moved, and we were like, dang it. Yeah. But they weren't Hallmark, but they were something.
Yeah, they were like little figure statue
that are probably worth a lot of money now.
Yeah, they're very cool.
My dog thinks we need to play ball right now. It's not going to happen. I tell you, we are going to be really happy when we can afford to be able to do a lot of these YouTube and podcasts outside of the house. That will be wonderful.
We're excited to have a nice setup for it.
We were talking about even creating a she shed to be able to.
You've seen those commercials?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so spoiler alert. We'll probably have a sign at some point here. We're now going to talk about the film. So if you're going to see it and you don't want us to spoil it,
now it's
click
time to
that
go.
Sucker off.
Come back after you see the movie.
Yes, because we want to know, especially in your comments on YouTube, if you want to add something to this discussion, please do. Oh my gosh, we love that.
We can also open up eventually a business email that they can send in responses, and we could have a little segment where we read their emails on what they thought.
Smart, I love that.
Get some ratings. That'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And if you disagree and why, we'd love to hear too. If you're going to put in, please tell us, are you a baby boomer? Are you a millennial? Are you a Generation Z or X? Just to kind of get, and I swear to God, if I don't get some Generation Xers commenting, I'm going to be so mad at you, because did you know we're called the silent generation? It's because we're working our asses off. Yes, Cindy asked, are we going to swear in this? I said, hell yes.
I was like, thank goodness.
I'm not going to worry about Any swearing, if they want to demonetize me on YouTube, so be it. Oh, dog thinks
go listen to us on Spotify then.
Yeah, exactly. Bite me. Okay. So, do you remember how this started off? I was just shocked.
It started off as, I'm blanking, you know.
Well, I know it came fairly soon into The Wizard of Oz. And that's,
yes.
I thought, oh, here it is. This dog is going to drive me crazy. I think one of the first things that I remember was, and people that know everything about Wizard of Oz, don't kill me on this, but there's a bigger dude and he's talking to Judy and he is just mean to her. Mm-hmm. He was talking about her weight and
I'm pretty sure he might have been the director or something along those lines. Correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah. You know, for somebody that struggled, you know, all 43 years of my life except 2 with weight, I just felt for this little girl. Seeing Judy Garland so young and being told, hey, you're fat. Oh, that crushed me.
Yeah, and she was never anywhere near fat. You know, it was in Hollywood, they expect the women to be very thin, and I mean that's kind of changing now, but back then it was very much a...
Well, and where was like child, you know, that's one thing I've been thinking about a lot when we were preparing for this. Mm-hmm. Where were the rights of the child in this? You know, I'm mad at her mother and I'm mad at her father for allowing this to happen, but I used to watch Full House as a kid. Yeah. And there's a girl in there that got nailed for her weight too. And it just is, you know, you're lucky that you grew up in a generation that didn't, you know, weren't as mean about it.
Yeah. Well, at least as far as I know today, I mean, it's very widely accepted to be any body shape, and it's still a concern in Hollywood and stuff. You're seeing it more and more often, but
it's just sad. You know, thank God for YouTube and like, you know, these podcasts where people can, there's just so much more value to people than people that look or act a certain way. I mean,
because there are big people with amazing personalities that we're missing out on because we're just judging them by their appearance, and it's sad.
It is sad, and it's, you know, when I listen or I watch Shane do some of his stuff, Shane Dawson, you know, I'm glad that someone had the bravery to go out there and say the things that I've never been able to say. So I appreciate him for that, and the triggering, you know. Right. I'm going to kill this dog. He just is like, attention. So a couple things about Judy that I was surprised by when we did some research on it. The fact that she's 4'11". I didn't have a clue that she was that tiny.
No idea.
Well, just some of the shots in the movie.
Right.
You could see almost every bone. Let's talk a little bit about Renee Zellweger and her. I was shocked. That was the actress that played.
Right.
She was amazing.
When you watch this movie, it just feels like you're sucked into the story. You know, she was Judy. Like, it wasn't someone playing Judy.
No.
She had mannerisms down. She looked so much like her.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe it. I just, you know, there's a saying that goes on Hollywood where you can almost get too involved in an actor's life, and it's like I've seen Jim Carrey do that at times, and some of the phenomenal actors and actresses where they get so good at it, it's hard for them to tell who they are anymore. And holy crap, I really felt that.
Yeah.
With Renee. Mm-hmm. And we really haven't seen Renee Zellweger lately.
No, I'm not familiar with anything outside of the movie. She looked familiar to me, but that's all I knew of.
She's played in a lot of films, but more when you were tinier. What? Lovely dog. Another thing that we were able to kind of look up, we we didn't know that she was born. Stop. She was born in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and that her mother and father owned a movie theater.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually where her career started.
Oh, really?
At the age of 2, she did some Christmas shows.
Oh,
there. Yeah.
Oh. So did they have a stage there too?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if it was completely a movie theater or if it was a theater, like...
You know, I thought I read some stuff about, like, the older movie theaters having a stage on them.
So that both could be done?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, though.
Yeah.
Comment below if you know. And that she was the youngest. I have to pet this dog or he will go nuts.
Yeah.
I did not know that she was buried in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That Liza Minnelli is her daughter. I didn't recognize that. Again, guys, don't be critical. Oh my God, that's the dog shaking the table. Let's see. Oh, one thing, kind of back to talking about the weight issue. It was Judy that commented. She said it was right at 13 years old when she really noticed when she got in fights with a lot of the Hollywood directors about what she was eating. And Sydney showed me some footage of a director saying, well, there was times when Judy was fat and there were times when she got too thin and was gaunt.
Right.
And the manner that he talked about her was like she was an object.
Yeah, it was kind of like she was just a puppet for them.
That's such a great way of saying it.
I mean, and they said in the movie, like, when she was having the conversations during the Wizard of Oz production with this man, I'm going to assume the director, he literally said to her, he's like, you know, so many other little girls are wish they could be Dorothy, so you should be grateful for the way that we're treating you, and
he was the one that
you're
said,
so easily replaceable.
Well, and he was the one that said, oh, Shirley Temple is just ready to come in here, and
right.
And I thought, oh my God.
Yeah, be grateful for the way I'm treating you. Like, that's sick.
You would never see that today.
No.
Ever. Parents would be like, well, number one, the parent probably doesn't leave the side very often.
Right.
I wouldn't trust anybody with my kids. Not in Hollywood.
No.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I was really surprised that Judy was broke and actually owed the IRS $500,000.
After the production of Wizard of Oz, and
how can you owe? Oh, she just didn't pay her taxes, or what?
I'm not too sure about that.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
The 2 suicide attempts, I didn't know about that either.
Yeah. She was constantly just back and forth, you know, trying to...
You know what blew me away, Sid? And they talked a little bit about it, but the whole eating thing, that they would give her amphetamine pills to curb her hunger.
Yeah.
And she had, throughout the whole movie, it was pills, pills, pills.
Yeah. Which, I mean, from what we've researched, it seems pretty accurate to how it was. Like, they were doing whatever to keep her from eating, to keep her awake, to perform.
And then she couldn't fall asleep because she was taking so many amphetamines. Then they started giving her sleeping pills.
Right.
And then she started drinking on top of that.
Yeah.
I had no idea that she went to London.
No. That's kind of where she played out the end of her career.
Man.
Another scene that hit me really hard with the whole eating situation, they had, I don't remember what they were filming, but they had her and a younger boy sitting in a diner.
Oh, yeah.
And she had this burger and fries in front of her, and she, like, ate a fry, and, like, one of the people on the team, the production team, came up to her, and she, like, no, you can't do that. Like, you'll get fat. Like,
yanked her hand.
Yeah, she, like, took it away.
Yeah, one fry. She couldn't have one fry.
And then she gave her more pills.
Yep.
To replace it.
Hey, on top of that, so the birthday cake, you remember that? They wouldn't even let her have her own birthday cake.
Yeah.
And then look at how embedded that got into her psyche to the point that she never ate. Remember, every single time we saw her at a place where people were eating, she wasn't eating. Mm-mm. She was just drinking.
Right.
That blew me away.
I think it was just kind of
behavior
engraved into her brain, like, I can't eat. Like,
yeah.
I think it was one of the scenes towards the end, she spending her birthday, I believe, with two production assistants when she was in London, and
which we found wasn't true.
No, they were real.
Oh, they were real.
They were
okay.
real, yes.
Okay.
And they got her a cake, and she ate like a bite, and she was sitting there staring at the bite on the fork, like,
and
is this okay?
And her face as she ate. Oh, this is delicious. Like, she'd never tasted something like that before.
Right.
Oh, it was hard. The whole thing was hard for me.
Also, I did want to make another point, kind of separate from the eating and all that. The whole kind of present story of Judy was kind of right before she passed away, like the year before.
Yeah.
She was kind of hotel hopping and trying to get any gig she could in America, and she was dragging her kids around to everywhere.
There's no doubt in my mind she loved those kids.
She loved those kids. Yeah. And, she ended up kind of trying to find places. She ended up going back to one of her ex-husbands. This would have been her third marriage. She had 5 in total. And I believe he was the baby daddy of these kids.
Yeah, yeah.
And she had them stay there for the night. And she got in a fight with him, basically. Like, mm-hmm. He's like, I'm gonna keep these kids so they can have a place to stay. They need to go to school every day, and, you gotta figure out, if you want them, how you're gonna house them and pay for them. So the whole story goes on about the way she's trying to figure out how to get to pay for them, and she can't find an agent, so she ends up going out to London and doing shows every night.
That was so strange that London was like, they just loved her.
Right.
Whereas that's weird that
she couldn't find any place.
Yeah, in America, but London just embraced her.
Right.
Half drunk.
Yeah, she's constantly popping pills trying to get through the show. She didn't want to perform.
There is a killer scene at the end, and I'm actually not going to tell you about it, but I just thought, and you'll know it when you see it, if you do see it, where, let's just say, the audience holds her up for once, and it was just heartbreaking.
Yeah, I got goosebumps all the way up my arms, and like.
Well, and I feel like you could feel it. Her being in London was all about her kids. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all she wanted. She, called them and was trying to keep connected. Like, I'm gonna be home. Like, I'm gonna be able to be your mom again in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sad that never was able to happen for her.
No.
She
I'm glad the kids had time with her, though.
Yeah.
It said like 6 months after she finally left London, she ended up dying.
She actually died in London.
Oh,
she didn't even get to go back to America.
Wow.
To do that, so
they had to ship her body back. Oh. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. 47. She died at crazy. 47, supposedly of a barbiturate overdose, which is sedative hypnotics, but that in combination with alcohol is disastrous.
Can you explain that a little bit more, since you know more about drugs?
Well, anytime that you take 2 competing drugs with each other, if you take amphetamines and then you take a depressant, your liver can only work through or try to process one at a time, and so the other one becomes even more kind of effective or lethal to you. Mm-hmm. And this is why a lot of these poor celebrities, we've had so many celebrities die of drug overdose.
It's not uncommon to hear that's why they pass away. And,
that's so sad.
Yeah. And I think part of it to blame is definitely Hollywood.
Yeah, I was really pissed, honestly. I was really pissed watching this, thinking how many people in Hollywood are screwed over by the people that are making them famous and keeping them famous, right, to the extent that they're not even themselves anymore. Yeah. You know, and how much do you get rooted up in the money of things?
Yeah. I mean, and it's crazy to me that she was broke.
Yeah.
That is insane to me. Like
how? How is that possible?
That's impossible.
She probably signed some contract where it wasn't to her
she was a
best
child.
benefit. Yeah. Well, and the mom probably sold her off like God knows what.
I think that's the reason why I do like this movie so much and rated it so highly, because it brings light to the really dark side of this. I mean, it's almost, I kind of almost took the movie as more as just bringing light on how awful Hollywood can be versus her story. I mean, her story kind of just told the reason.
I like the fact that your generation and millennials have fought that. I mean, because really, we would never have even considered, nobody my age would have considered being famous ever, because we didn't have the look. The look was 2% of people that fit that. You had to have top skills, top talent, top body, top shape, all of it. And if you lacked even a little bit, let's criticize it.
Well, I think that's the thing I really enjoy about these open platforms like YouTube and podcasting platforms and, anything with social media. People bring themselves up to fame. It's not, you don't always need a contract or anything to become something, and
right,
you can gain an audience yourself.
Well, we can be real. That's what I love about it. I think we're healthier being real. There's things all of us need to work on, but we don't need to be working on it in front of 5 million people criticizing us either.
Right.
So,
yeah.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed our review of Judy.
Yeah.
And our next one that we're going to be seeing is Maleficent.
Yeah. So we'll also leave us, if you are thinking about any movies that you'd be interested in seeing that are coming out soon, let us know and we will go see them for you.
We'll go see it for you and let you know. That way you don't have to spend money on a movie and then find out you didn't like it. All right.
Signing off.
Generation X. Generation Z. Go to the movies.